every shutdown's a prop strike, or so it seems. It's just very fast the way Rotaxes stop. So here we are in an RV-12. Let's have a look around it. Hi, this is Mark at Skywagon University. We've got a whole series of videos on this channel about all different kinds of planes. Whenever we get anything in interesting, we bring it down here and talk about it. And today we got in this Vans RV-12. And it's a 2016 model year, and it has a Rotax in it. And it's a great little light sport, very good fun with a lot of little nuances of its own that make it incredibly appealing. So let's have a closer look at it. So you might be wondering, where are the wheel pants? I've got them, they're on it. They're not quick and easy to put on. They're like a cone at the back and a nose at the front, and they join in the middle, and they have screws down the side. They're with the plane, they're not on it at the moment, they're going to be on it. But they normally have it, and they need it because, you know, these aren't the fastest plane. They're like, VNE is like 108. So it's just like a fun little slow, low, fun two-seat light sport. The engine is a Rotax 912 ULS. It's 100 horsepower. That is the pitot tube in the end of the spinner. And if anybody knows why it's in the end of the spinner, because obviously you've got to get that tube into an instrument. I mean, it's rotating. How do they do that? Why not just have it on the wing? Well, okay, why not have it on the cowling? The wings come off. So that's another thing that's very interesting about these. Let's have a look at it. There is a button on the dash, I'll show you, a light that says wing spar. And I was like, why would they have that? And it reminded me of an amusing cartoon I saw years ago by Gary Larson, who has this kind of British, obvious sense of humor. There's a kid in a chair in an airliner, and next to him there's like the flight attendant, the light, the movies, and then there's wings fly off, wings stay on. And the caption is, Freddie nearly inadvertently caused an in-flight disaster by pressing the wrong button. I mean, it's stupid humor, but it amused me. This has removable wings. And when you're sitting in it, well, look in it, when you're sitting in it, there's a little pin right here. You turn it, 2 people in 5 minutes can have both the wings off. And you can have it, and the gear goes into the fuselage, so when the wing is off, it's still standing there, and the fuel isn't in the wings. So you don't have to disconnect fuel lines. There's one connection to the flaperon, we'll look at that too, that disconnects, and the wing is off. So you could put it on a trailer and take it home. 5 minutes to be wings off. And out here on the tip, there's a handy handle, which you'd think would be for sort of marshalling it like a B1, but it's actually for holding while somebody disconnects it and you take the wing off. So it's a very thought out design. When you buy these are all pull rivets. They're not bucked rivets. The whole thing, you could say Cherry Max rivets, and they used to have a bad reputation, but this comes, the kit comes precision drilled. Everything fits, and it saves something like, I think it says 200 hours by using the rivet gun that's putting in all these rivets. So it's all metal, and this is obviously aileron, and this is obviously flap, but it's all one piece. So we'll put them down and show how that works. It droops the entire thing with flaps. So all metal there. The cowling is fiberglass, obviously the bubble here. This is all metal, and it's all the same rivets. And it's got the full flyable horizontal. The controls on this is incredibly light. I mean, it's like a helicopter. You're barely moving the thing and it'll respond to it. But whole flyable tail, trim tab, metal, rudder, obviously, everything. They're kind of easy, they're quick, kind of quick to build relative to a lot of other experimentals, which is why they're so popular. There isn't a tail wheel version. In fact, is there? If you know more, let me know, but I don't think there's a tail wheel version of it, because the 6s and the 8s and the 7s, they all have a tail wheel. So this, I don't think does. I'm not that familiar with these, the way I am with like a Cessna, but they're great planes. And another story is, Greg, my salesman, years ago when he was a young hour building pilot, said, he came into the office when I first met him, and he goes, "Hi, I'd like to build time. Can I ferry planes for you? I'll take anything, anywhere, anytime. I'm really keen to get hours." I went, "Yeah, sure." And I had an RV-12, and the buyer for it was in Boston, and I'm in California. So it's like diagonally across America as far as you can possibly get without getting wet. And he got into that RV and flew it to Boston for 34 hours. He had to go around about weather and stuff, but he got it there. So now he's my salesman. Okay, gas. No gas in the wings. So because they come off and you'd have to disconnect fuel lines. There's the gas. That's the petrol cap. That's the gas cap there. And it pumps right into the side. We'll look in there. There's a tank behind the seat. It pumps right in there and it can burn avgas and car fuel. And actually the engine prefers car fuel. And this owner runs it on like a 20-80 mix, just for the sake of it, with the 80 being car fuel. I'm running out of things to say. Okay, let's look in it. So you get in the front, you don't get in the back. A lot of RVs, you get in the back up the wing like usual, like a normal plane, whatever. You get up on the back, but this you get up on the front. If you go up on the back, it would tip. So there's the step, and it opens like that. Be nice to it. It's got two little shock struts there that hold it up. Don't start the engine with it open because it'll shake. So you just climb in. I'll see if I can do it in a dignified manner, and then we'll have a look in the cockpit. Survived. I haven't flown these much, so I don't really know how to do that if there's a proper way. Okay, so let's have a look in here. So in the cockpit, here's the master switch. I'm going to turn on this Dynon. You'll hear the fuel pump, so I'm going to pull the circuit breaker to shut it up because it's on all the time to run the engine. And then you've got ignition here, avionics Dynon here. And look at this, is just a nice memory card for stall speed 45. You land it right about 50. You know, it's got a max crosswind limit of 11 knots, which is pretty impressive. Best glide 63, final approach 60. So good, interesting numbers. It has an autopilot. It has a lot of systems in it. It has what's that called? Where you can flip you load your flight plan onto the phone and then onto the screen. Synthetic vision. Look at that. There's your tack, the fuel. Here's all your EGTs, oil temps, manifold pressure, all along the bottom. This is the light that comes on here if the wing spar pin isn't sitting in its proper place. If it isn't sitting there, it's not making a little contact with the chip, and the chip will tell you it's loose and put on that light. So that's there. That's synthetic vision. Here's the airspeed and the altitude, and it's also a GPS, and it also talks to the autopilot. It's like a little Garmin G3X, but just not made by Garmin. Very, very comprehensive and all in one instrument. And here, trim, perfect positioning, and it needs it. You just trim it, you know, with your finger when you're on the throttle. Avionics master switch, strobes, autopilot on, circuit breakers, intercom. Very simple, incredibly light. I mean, it is. You feel it on the ground, you think, wow, that's light. It's just like that in the air. And to start it, turn on the two ignitions, just bam on, and pull the choke, key, and it's running. And within 10 seconds, slowly put that in, and it's running. And to shut it down, you just turn off the ignitions. And that's why, you know, it's a reduction gearbox engine like all Rotexes, so it's got that sudden stop, which always slightly alarms me. But there's not a lot going on in here. It's very, very simple, but incredibly comprehensive. So we'll put that back to a more impressive page. There we are. Engine, nav, GPS, autopilot, and position. Dual brakes, which is pretty nice, and they're good. And the canopy, when you close it, you just literally pull it down and you just stop it slamming, and you got this handle right here, and that will just rotate and lock it. And if you want to taxi without getting burned up by the sun in the greenhouse, you just put it like that and let it sit open, slightly ajar like that. And then the other thing that's nice is this shade. If you want to see everything, you just slide that back, and you've got the greenhouse bubble. And if you want a bit of shade, you just slide that forward, and then you're not getting baked, because it can be warm in here. but you cannot taxi with the canopy fully up, so you have to have it just slightly ajar for the temperature. So back here is the gas tank. It's sitting literally behind the co-pilot seat, and so therefore isn't in the wings for easy wing removal, and you fill it up from the filler neck back there. So it's literally, you look over your shoulder at the gauge is on the top of the tank, and you can see how much fuel it has in it. And then down here, interestingly, here are the spars. So the big front spar is this wing, and it tapers down, and then the other wing spar comes down past it at a taper, and this block here, this pin, goes through both of them and then locks. So if I push that down and pull that little thing out of its detent and rotate that, I can pull that pin, I can bring it out this way, and then those will both slide out. So they're held in by that giant steel pin through the short end of this one and the long end of this one, and the same over there. So that is the spar, and that is why you want that pin to be in, of course. So let's fly it. Okay. So I didn't start it and talk because the microphone's off when the master switch is off.
On sky view.
Now it's on. To start it, it's literally master on, ignition on, P, starts like a car. So we'll just take her up for a run around the pattern. This plane has its wheel pants. They're not on it, but they're with it. They're going to be on it. It's for sale, of course, and when it's sold, the wheel pants will be on it. But they're just brilliant fun. If you don't need to go over the mountains and carry your anvil collection anywhere, it's a brilliant little fun, cheap, car fuel capable. It does everything a Cessna 152 will do, but with more style and way nimbler and light. You can take its wings off, put it in the garage, put it on a trailer, take it home. So I'm very impressed with these. And a lot of flight schools use them for training too.
Message.
A message. So we got oil pressure, we got oil temperature coming up. We've got 8 gallons of gas, which is about 2 hours in this. Incredible visibility. And this is what it looks like if it was hot and sunny, which it will be later today, but look. You just pull this little slide forward, bam. But I want the helicopter experience. Have the bubble, which is amazing. Considering some people think you can't see down in a low wing, right there I cannot see, but everywhere else I can see. It's amazing. Okay, a quick run up. So we'll run her up at 3,500. Mag 1. Mag 2. Full and free controls. Incredibly light ones. Canopy closed. Wait a little bit longer for the oil temp to come up. And this is liquid cooled, remember? It's got a water jacket. Look at that synthetic vision. There's the runway right there. 2-3, right? Okay, oil temp's in the green now. Well, just about. Now it is. Trim. Let's do it. This is going to take off incredibly short. It'll take off before you're ready. Placerville experimental RV-12, 86.
Foxtrot Sierra, departing runway 23, a local flight, Placerville. Here comes the runway. Full power. Just trying to fly right now. I'll let her. There she goes, 50, nice. A little bit of trim. Okay, after takeoff, I wind the RPM back to about 5,000. Right there. Amazing. Look at it, it's so light, it's so nimble. We're climbing out at 85. This camera will get a really good view of Placerville Airport as I come around onto downwind. There it is. Placerville traffic. 6 Fox Sierras on left downwind, 23 Placerville. Thanks for your 125. Charlie Delta, turning left downwind, 422. The cameras are designed to smooth things out, but so you won't really see the full effect of it. But it's very, very roll responsive and pitch responsive. It's tiny, little like helicopter-like movements. So, I mean, I don't know if it shows it on the camera, but it's just very responsive. If you got out of this and into a Turbo 206, it would be an eye-opener. Oh, look, there's Placerville. In fact, this is fun. I'm not going to land straight away. Let's go out to the north a little bit and come around one more time. Placerville, 6 Foxtrot Sierra is on left crosswind, just heading to the north over the airport. So we're doing 97 knots right now on crosswind. 97, that's cruise speed for 150 on about 2 gallons an hour less. For a little bit more money, but still, this is a 2000 and a newer version of a 70s. The 150s are from the 60s and 70s, of course. Placerville, 6 Fox Sierra, left upwind for 23 at Placerville. Wine country. The other side's the river, the American River with the gold in it, where the gold rush was. And we're now in August, where it's going to start getting to a tolerable temperature, where it's going to be green and very British-like. For me, I like it when it's green. So here we are on upwind, doing 100 knots, just sitting here at 5,000 RPM. This is the kind of plane you go to the airport to fly, and somebody says, "Where are you going?" You go, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to fly. I just want to sit in a chair in the air, and I just want to fly the plane for the fun of it." With total situational awareness, everything working, modern, and fun. Placerville, 6 Fox Sierra on left crosswind, 23 Placerville. Look at that visibility. All clear on the GPS approach for runway 5, coming in right here. Here. On a hill. on left downwind for 23 at Placerville. I've burned 0.1 of a gallon so far. I'm doing 90. I need to be doing 55 when we get down near the ground. I'm just gently going to pull her back. Remember, it's liquid cooled because it's a Rotax. Just gently slow it down into the flap range, which will be the white arc. Fly with one finger, two fingers.
Mountie 6 Bravo Papa, turning base for Kingdon 30.
Okay, we're well on the flap arc. Shoulder trim. It's very sensitive to trim. A little poke on there and it's bam, it works. It's immediate. Placerville, 6 Fox Sierras on the left base for 23, a full stop at Placerville. Full flaps. A little bit more trim. Coming around onto final. I'm doing 69, 68. I want to be doing about 60 and then flaring at 55. I'll hold her at 65 on the way down. That's idle. Placerville, 6 Fox at Sierra is on final, full stop 23 Placerville. I've actually gained a little bit of speed, but I'm at idle and I got full flaps on. So I'll let the speed bleed off over the runway. There's 60. Touchdown at 50. We're rolling now, doing 40. It's just a joy. And I used 0.2 of a gallon. What is that, a pint? Here we are. Nice little flight around Placerville in an RV-12.
Okay, so we flew it around, fun little plane, excellent visibility, very, very maneuverable and very, very light on the controls and slow to very short takeoff, short takeoff, very, very short landing and slow speeds doing both. You don't have to do 80, you're doing like 45, 50. So it's incredibly forgiving. So if you want just a two-seater little economical plane that will buzz around that holds, full fuel and 2 people and burns 4.5 gallons an hour and does like 90 to 100 miles an hour, you can hardly beat an RV-12. Anyway, we have many, many videos on this channel. Thanks for watching. We have merchandise. You can click on the link below and you can see merchandise on there. We have Patreon if you want to support the channel. That would be great too. And also like and subscribe if you would. A lot of people say, wow, why isn't your channel got more subscriptions? People just watch them and move on. Can you just click on the subscribe? It really helps us. So thanks very much for watching and we'll see you on the next plane.